How's it going, everyone? My name's Taikoru and welcome back to the channel. Now, I want to start by shouting out Bungie for giving us another amazing support exotic with endgame viability and awesome synergy. Guys, this exotic is so good, it's topping the charts in usage rates for Trials of Osiris. And the best part is you're not even on Prismatic. This is working best on the base solar subclass. It's got everything you need. Now, the insane amounts of healing and ability regen, when you pair it with a new auto rifle, will cement this loadout for both PvP and PvE warlock mains out there. Of course, I'm talking about the new exotic helmet, Speaker's Sight. Now, the armor perk on this one is very simple. It's the Lost Voice. Healing grenades spawn a restorative turret. Healing allies occasionally spawns an orb of power. Very simple on the base, but when we go into our subclass and with our weapon, we can turn that healing up and use it to the best of our abilities. Starting off with Song of Flame. Unleash your inner fire, making your equipped weapons radiant and enhancing your abilities. Now there at the bottom it says, while Song of Flame is active, you and nearby allies regenerate abilities more quickly and are more resistant to incoming damage. That's 25% damage reduction for you and your allies just from popping the super. And your solar and kinetic weapons scorch targets. That's very important, as our Dragon's Breath we'll be using will be able to proc multiple ignitions just from one rocket. That's because of Song of Flame. Now, of course, you're going to want to use Healing Grenade to get that restorative turret, as well as Phoenix Dive in my opinion. It's just a great pop of healing that's mobile, you can use it whenever you want. Just jump in the air really quick, use your class ability, spike down, and this will also proc part of our subclass. We'll be using Touch of Flame to boost that healing turret even further, as well as Hellion. When we use our class ability, we'll get our solar buddy, just shooting out blobs of lava, dealing extra damage to anything we're looking at. It's very strong. Now we're turning this up with the big guy here, Ember of Benevolence. Applying Restoration, Cure, or Radiant to allies grants increased damage, melee, and class ability regeneration for a short duration. Very strong. Ember of Benevolence is definitely one of my favorite fragments on Solar. Now, when you combine that with the restorative turret we'll be getting from our helmet, as well as, of course, Phoenix Dive and something else coming later, you will basically have 100% uptime on all of your abilities. You can spam your melee, your class ability, and of course throw down those turrets, spawning Restoration and giving it out to all your allies, resetting the cycle. It's very simple, and I'm just loving how good it is with just that. Of course, we'll be using Ember of Ashes. You apply more scorch stacks to targets. Ember of Torches. This will be used to grant Radiant to us and our allies, as well as Ember of Solace. We want as much duration out of that Restoration and Radiant as possible, so whenever it goes away, we can reproc it and we'll have that increased uptime. Very strong. Now, we need to touch on the big elephant in the room. It's the new healing AR, No Hesitation. The intrinsic trait is the Support Frame. Flexible and agile frame capable of healing allies and hurting foes. Harming targets builds a restorative charge. Hip firing at allies while this weapon is charged heals them, with rapid healing increasing weapon damage and bestowing restoration to your allies. Now, I know this is a legendary weapon, almost with an exotic trait there at the bottom, but all it's saying is when you damage enemies, you'll build up a charge in the bottom of your gun. You can see it on the HUD. And when you get it going, you can shoot your allies, hip fire at them to give them restoration times 2. Very strong. One of the few ways you can just get restoration times 2. We'll be pairing that with a new trait, Physic. Rapidly healing allies grants you and your allies restoration for an improved duration. Now, combining that with, of course, the fragment to increase the duration of restoration even further, you see where we're going. 100% uptime, 100% ability cooldown due to Ember of Benevolence. And of course, a crowd favorite, one of the best solar perks in the game, Incandescent. With Incandescent active, we can spread tons of Scorch and even some ignitions when we get enough stacks going. Also amplified with Ember of Ashes. Now, I want to touch on Restoration and the restoration you get with the helmet versus the gun. Now, you're going to want to prioritize healing with No Hesitation, as this grants restoration times 2, But the great part is, when you use Speaker Sight and the healing turret, it will just reproc whatever restoration they have. So if you shoot them and grant restoration times 2, and then you throw your healing turret down, it will just keep reprocking resto times 2, instead of base restoration times 1 just from the helmet. Just something to note, you can always just throw down the healing and get restoration of any kind, it's always viable, but if you want to be min-maxing, use no hesitation proc resto times 2, then throw your Speaker Sight, restorative turret, and reproc that charge, of course getting another grenade to keep refunding the cycle, spamming all your abilities, your class ability which can also heal and spawn the solar buddy. It's very, very strong. Now, one downside of this build is you do in fact need teammates to get the full effect. You want to spread that restoration around to as many teammates as possible. So the 12-man activity, a raid, this build would go crazy. But even a dungeon or the regular 3-man activities, anything with a teammate, you're getting so much restoration off, your abilities will just be refunded over and over, so spam them please. Now I want to touch on the artifact here, as there's 2 mods I think that would take this build just a bit further. You're going to want to grab Winning Hand. While using weapons with the Dealer's Choice origin trait, combatant precision final blows or rapidly defeating combatants cause the target to explode, dealing solar damage to nearby combatants. We'll touch on the origin trait right here, but we also want to grab Radiant Orbs. While you have a solar or prismatic subclass equipped, picking up an Orb of Power makes you Radiant. Between the Fragment and Radiant Orbs, we'll basically have Radiant 100% of the time. This is just guaranteeing a little bit more uptime. Now the origin trait, for no hesitation, is a great one. Dealer's Choice. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of super energy. Equipping multiple weapons from the Pale Heart increases this effect. Basically, it's pseudo Thresh on a smaller scale, just as an origin trait on the weapon. Very, very strong, just adding to that super cooldown, letting us get Song of Flame even faster. I'm going to flash over to the mods here, as you know what we're going all in on. Solar. We've got a grenade kickstart, harmonic resistance, solar reserves, as well as a double solar weapon surge. Throw on the mods everybody, grab this helmet and you're good to go. No hesitation is all you need to craft, but base, Speaker's Sight is a great exotic. No hesitation just takes it up to the next level, giving that restoration times 2. Check it out guys in this gameplay. I'm loving it so far.
Vex force upon Nessus, upon themselves, reveals facets of their schemes.
Radial area pressure is building up again underground, but I can't tell where. Scans are all coming up blank.
Scout over land and you should see traces, Guardian.
Look what I can do. There are days where I really miss having access to my railguns. Data threshold reached. Rendering assistance. You have done well, Captain. Good job. I am proud of you. That is not sarcasm.
Sending new coordinates. I agree with Failsafe's assessment, but the Vex will not.
Hey, Cat. Fallen bombs ahead, and they're modified with Shadow Legion tech. Let's get their wires. Please accept this gift, and mulch some Vex with it. Harvesting Radiolaria Incubator. Data threshold reached. Rendering assistance. Please accept this gift, and mulch some Vex with it. For me means an assist for you. I bet the Vex are boiling in their tanks processing that. Vex are mad about this batch of data. Like, mad. Don't let him take it down on you. Harvesting Radiolaria Incubator. Data threshold reached. Rendering assistance. Ever say I do nothing for you, Captain? I am a born helper. That is a lot of data. Stepping in. It is more beautiful than I could have dreamed. Guardian secured.
Wow, everybody. I am loving this build. I really like the team play factor and when Bungie leans into the class fantasy. Of course, warlocks are going to be the healing subclass, so giving us exotics that amp that up, that are good, that are endgame viable, and it's obviously PvP viable as well, is very fun. I've been enjoying it, and I think you should too. Check out this build featuring Speaker's Sight, the brand new exotic added in the final shape, as well as No Hesitation, a very strong new archetype of AR added to the game. If you all enjoyed this video, I really would love it if you subscribed and liked the video. It goes so far to growing the channel and we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all of that growth and those first 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to you guys. You were the original 1,000 and I'm so thankful for you and very thankful for all of the new subs. So if this piques your fancy, if you want to see more Destiny 2 content, subscribe. Click down below as well for more videos from me. And as always, everyone, I'll catch you around. See ya.